Hello, my tarot friends, welcome. Today I have two very exciting decks to share with you. One of them is called Disassembled. This is an indie version that I have right here, but this deck comes in a mass market version published by Wiser, I believe. I will put a picture of how it looks like on the screen later. This is a tarot deck that literally is disassembled. So as you can imagine, tarot is made of symbols, right, within a scene. And here, as you're going to see very soon, we have all the symbols shown on each card, which is so cool, from the Rider-Waite-Smith system. Now this bad boy here is tarot assembled. So what we get here, I'll share with you in a moment. So let's first look at the tarot disassembled. Before we look into the cards, this deck was created by a talented Jennifer Cooper Stadley. I'm not sure if it's Stadley or Steedley. Please forgive me, Jennifer. Jennifer is the most generous, the most positive, the most enthusiastic person that I've spoken to in tarot community so far. She is so much fun to talk to. We exchanged quite a few emails about tarot. And I also have to say thank you so much, Jennifer, for sending me this deck for a review. I am so grateful, and it has become one of my favorite oracle decks, or we could call it tarocles, because you will see very soon why. So yes, thank you so much for this. I am so appreciative, and I work with it every day. It's so good. Anyhow, let's focus on the tarot disassembled first. So this version comes in a magnetic box. I think that the mass market version comes in a two-piece box. It comes with no guidebook. In this version, I think the mass market version has a small guidebook, and you can also purchase the bigger separate guidebook as well, which I did, but it hasn't arrived, and I'm done waiting for it. So it will arrive eventually. But I'm just going to show you the digital guidebook that you also got with the indie version. So you get a QR code, and then you have a PDF, and it's amazing. So I'm just going to show you that. The edges on the indie edition, this is first edition, are red. I think on the second edition, like lime green. And on the mass market version, they're yellow, if I'm not mistaken, which is really cool. And on the indie version of the deck, we have my favorite cardstock, which is Rose Petal Finish. And the cardstock is very, very thick and durable. It's amazing. It's maybe not the easiest for riffle shuffling, but it's going to last forever. So I love that, and I love just the physical experience of this deck, because I just love to feel my cards, and this just feels like so nice. So without further ado, let's just go through the cards. I'm going to point or maybe look into the guidebook for a few maybe symbols that usually you wouldn't notice on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So here, for example, we have a boot, right? That's something that I wouldn't notice on the full card. So let's just look what it says for the boot. So we have a little quote: "The true tarot is symbolism. It speaks no other language and offers no other signs," and that's by Waite. And then we have a table of contents, which is great. And I think this is at the back of the box of the new deck, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have introduction, a little bit about Jen, a very brief history of tarot, how to use this book and deck. So on each card, then we get the keywords: astrological association, planetary association, and elemental associations, individual symbolism, and quick takes at the end of the card, which I really, really like. A note about reversals, final thoughts, exercises and spreads. So we have some spreads, and then we go into the major arcana. So we said we're going to look into the boot of the Fool. So we have number 0. So firstly we have keywords: new beginnings, potential, innocence, joy, freedom, optimism, spontaneity, adventure, inexperience, risk, and foolishness. And then astrological association is none, Neptune and Uranus, elemental association air. And then we have symbols. So we go from everything. She goes through everything, and it's so amazing. So we have number 0, backpack and satchel, boots, cliff, dog, eagle, feather, mountain, rose, staff, sun, wheel. I'm blind. I mean, boots at the front. So boots, let's see. It says action, journey, travel, grounding, connection to the earth, humanity, consciousness. Yellow is the color of the solar plexus chakra, the seat of our personal power and self-confidence. This vibrant yellow boots indicate that even though the Fool may appear to be acting impulsively, they may simply be so sure of themselves that they do not fear where their next steps may take them. A true leap of faith. How cool is that? So there's one more thing I need to say about her writing in both of these guidebooks. Her writing is so fun, and I love how she goes into every symbolism and she connects it to the myths, to the history, to the pop culture, and it's just so fun to read. So this is why I ordered the big guidebook, because I just want to read the whole book from page to page, because it's just so much fun. And I learned, like, I've been using this deck for, I think I've had this deck for like 2 weeks now. I've been using it so much, like daily basically, and just diving into the symbolism is so fun. Like if you have neurodivergent brain like I do, this deck is gonna be a dream for you. I feel like it's a very matter-of-fact reader. What I really appreciate about this deck, I'm not gonna talk about each card and symbolism because it's quite obvious what we see, right? So if there's something that stands out, I'm gonna perhaps look into the guidebook, but I'm just gonna go through the cards. What was I saying? I was saying that, yes, what I really appreciate about this deck is the fact that you can put the cards down. You can think about the colors. What do colors mean to you? How do you associate the colors, first of all? Because the other day I did a reading and I pulled 3 red cards. So that was obviously a very passionate reading, something that I'm very passionate about, something that drives me, right? It's very obvious. Because it was about my tarot practice, it was about my tarot business. Another thing that I love about these cards is that because there are so many symbols on each card, you can just relax and ask yourself, which symbol stands out for me in this reading, in this moment in time? Either if you're reading for yourself or if you're reading for others. For example, if I look at this card right now, what stands out for me are the clouds. And then you can go, okay, what is the symbol of the clouds? And you can look into the guidebook, or you could even go just with your intuition at this moment in time. There are no humans in this deck. When there are humans of importance on on the cards, she used the mannequins, you know, the wooden mannequins that you have for painting or just art crafts. So I really like that. What I really like is that for the challenging cards, she used black color. So Death and Tower and other, like Nine of Swords, other cards of the Devil are black, so they really stand out, and they give that, you know, it's not an easy card to get, let's be honest. No matter what, it is challenging. So yes, through challenges we grow, but they are scary, right? And we are initially scared of the dark as children, so that makes sense. What I'm very curious about is why she chose specific colors herself for specific cards. For example, I think Judgment is connected to fire anyway, if I'm not mistaken, so that makes sense that it's red. But certain cards, which I'm going to point out, have specific colors that you're like, oh, interesting. For example, Ace of Wands, right? I personally would probably make this card red. So I'm very interested why she made it gray. Perhaps, Jen, if you watch this, you can write it in the comments below. How come that you chose specific colors for specific cards? Like, did you go with chakra associations? Did you go with psychology of colors? Like, what was the system behind it? That's what I'm going to ask. So yes, I mentioned before that I'm neurodivergent, I'm autistic, and I love symbolism so much. Like, I love dissecting things. And I think in the book she talks about how she came up with the idea for this deck when her son disassembled a sandwich, basically. And it's such a brilliant idea. Like, it's so good. Like, I know there are books out there that do that generally with tarot, but this one is just, it's just so good. It's heartfelt. There is something very warm about her guidebook, very approaching, very down to earthy. Like, I don't know, it's just such a joy to read. I really, really enjoy it. And I don't like reading guidebooks on my phone, but with this one and with the Tarot-Assembled, there are exceptions. That's what I'm going to say. I really want to get a Tarot-Assembled physical guidebook one day as well. I'm going to link Jen's Etsy shop in the description box below. I'm going to also link her socials there as well. So the last time I checked on her Etsy, I think that the guidebooks for Tarot-Assembled were not available in the moment, at that moment in time. I'm not sure if this is still the case now. For example, Five of Cups here. See, we have dark card because it's not easy, right? Now, what I'm curious about on this card is this arrow here. Some sort of movement, or maybe it means focus. And also we have red and green. I also always wondered, what does that mean on the Five of Cups? I never looked into it for some reason, but so let me just check what it says in the guidebook. For this liquids here, she says, but what exactly are those strange liquids? As with many things in tarot, the answer is up to debate and speculation. The red liquid could possibly indicate blood or wine. Both can symbolize passion, so the loss may be of a romantic relationship. The green liquid could indicate poison, as some astronauts are naturally green, as is antifreeze, which is dyed green. If it is poison, what you've lost may have been toxic in nature. Oh my God! Do you see what I mean? This is so great. Like, I've never thought about Five of Cups this way. Yes, you've lost things, but maybe it was toxic. Maybe it was not good for you. Maybe you're very passionate about it, but at the end of the day, it was not good for you. It was toxic. Oh my God, it's so cool. I'm like so geeked on this, if that's an expression. Perhaps it is a good thing it has spilled. This painful loss may have actually saved you. Ah, amazing, okay. In the Wade Smith tarot, the figure is facing left. I've indicated the direction with a small arrow. Looking to the left symbolizes looking to the past. It may be that the pain of the disappointment still haunts you. The arrow can also indicate that you are spending too much time living in the past. It may be time to move on. Ooh, so good. Okay, I also noticed that I put this deck in order for a reason, like with all the fives, all the sixes, all the whatever. So I'm just gonna put all the fives down. Let's just go. I don't know why I did this. I forgot. I'm sorry. Now let's just go through these, talk about them like that. So Five of Wands, Five of Cups, Five of Swords, and Five of... We have two dark cards, which we know, Five of Pentacles and Five of Cups are challenging cards. We have Five of Swords, which is about conflict, right? And conflict is often driven by perhaps anger or... just that rage, perhaps, ego also, which makes sense. And Five of Wands is blue, which is very interesting because I feel that in this case, it is not as much fighting or trying to win than it is playfulness because of this blue color. So yeah, really cool. And I always wondered why they have different types of shoes and clothing. So that is very interesting. Oh, I really want to go into every card and read it to you, but it's just... There's so much in this deck. It is so good. And even if you don't want to use it for readings, right? If you need those, scenes that you can get in the Rider-Waite-Smith and other decks. Like, even if you feel like you can't read with it because it is too, I'm going to say logical perhaps. But then again, you see, we do have things that are on the top, things on the bottom, things that intertwine with each other. So we do have sort of scenes on these cards as well, because everything is done intentionally. Now I know lots of people wondering, what is this window here? This is a stage. So I think cards that have a stage in them, it asks you, are you driven by being approved by the society or to look good on the outside, or is what you're doing actually coming from your heart space? And Six of Pentacles is 100% one of them cards. Six of Swords is gray, which is cool because gray is something between the black and white, right? And in this space, in Six of Swords, we're moving towards better place mentally, but we're not yet there. We are still processing it. The Six of Cups is this orangey yellow, which reminds me of the solar plexus chakra, and also a bit orange, which is solar plexus and sacral chakra, which would make sense for being in the moment and looking into who you truly are as a child, right? When we're children, we are definitely who we truly are. We don't pretend. So that makes sense. And Six of Wands is green, is also really cool because green is a very refreshing color. It is a color of heart space as well, heart chakra. In Six of Wands, when you're feeling accepted and appreciated and cheered on, I'm going to say, that heart space can open. You feel very happy. So that makes sense as well. So to me, the color choices for the cards make total sense, 100%. Now, isn't that interesting? We have two blue cards and two orange cards. Ooh. So something that stands out for me straight away here is, we have a stage at Seven of Swords as well. That's interesting. I love the Seven of Pentacles. It just feels... look at that. They're like 6 pentacles are up here and it feels like they're rolling down. But there is one pentacle here, which is like an ace of pentacle, right? So literally it's talking about what you give is what you get. You need to look after things that you are invested in, but at the same time also how else can you then invest whatever you got from what you... So if you're doing something and you get the first rewards, those first rewards, what you're going to do with those, right? To me, these cards are so intuitive. It's so cool. Also like 2 swords here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 swords here. It's like 5 is conflict and 2 is decision making. So deciding what is the right thing for you to do in that moment in time. Ooh, is that a hedgehog? Okay, let's look at the 7 of Swords hedgehog, because that is very interesting. It's not hedgehog, it's porcupine. Okay, let's see what porcupine has to say. Danger, caution, discernment, self-defense. There's no porcupine shown in the Wade Smith version of this card. This is an inclusion of my own choosing. So that's something that I also really appreciate. Not only she disassembled the Rider-Waite Smith deck, she added little nuggets of her own perception of the cards in, which is amazing, which is literally, you know, that's what art is about. Like, especially when you're making tarot decks, they're based on a system, they're based on something that already exists, but you need to put something of your own in there, and she did this so beautifully, like through the color choices, through how she positioned things, symbols on the cards, and also through this little extra symbols that she added into the cards. I really, really love this. So, but the primary figure wears a hat with a pricky looking black rim that reminds me of a porcupine. And it's a rather apt symbol for this card. Porcupines are known for their ability to defend themselves, but are peaceful and passive in nature. In fact, they prefer to keep their quills flat until they feel threatened. So when you see a porcupine with its quills splayed out, such as on this card, you know that there's threat lurking nearby. You may not be aware of the threat around you yet, but this porcupine is telling you to get those quills up and be on the defense. Porcupines also mate for life, but the females are very picky about the mate they choose. This porcupine symbol may also serve as a warning to be more discerning about your choice of a mate, particularly if you've been done wrong in the past. How cool is that? Oh my god, it is so good, it is so good. See, here we have arrows as well, and I really think that these arrows represent, again, the movement of the wands towards the future, right? That's so cool. It's just like when you put symbols on the cards like this, they stand out way more. So for example, in the moment in time I'm looking at, because today is the super full moon in Taurus, which is my sign. So I'm looking at this moon here, or eclipse, right? And I want to go and read about that. What is the meaning of that? It's so amazing. I just love it. I just love it so much. And the readings that I've done with this deck were so direct, and they call you out. They call you out, man. They call you out. If you have a brain that likes to dissect things and look into details, and yeah, just if you're a nerd, like I'm a nerd, look at that. There is another stage, and one wand is pointing at that stage. It's at 9 of Wands. That's so interesting. Let me see what it says in 9 of Wands about the stage, if we have anything. Fantasy, illusion, over dramatization, perspective, story. In my opinion, the stage in the 9 of Wands is deeply linked to the stories we tell ourselves. The 9 of Wands indicates extreme exhaustion from an ongoing battle. It would be so tempting to give up and admit defeat right now. At least then you could rest. To muster that last ounce of hope and determination may require telling yourself a tale. Tell yourself, I'm not tired, even though you're beyond exhausted. Tell yourself, I've got this, even though that may feel far from the truth. You can even embrace your inner Captain America and tell yourself, I can do this all day. I told you, like, pop culture's references are so funny. Oh my god. I need to read you the King of Wands later, because that one cracked me up so hard. I was crying of laughter. It's so funny. Sometimes a little bit of a fantasy is all you need to rekindle your determination. Oh, such a great look at the 9 of Wands. I love it so much. And I love how big she made a snail in the 9 of Pentacles. I love the snail in the 9 of Pentacles. Why? Because it tells you that it took you a very long time to get there, and also to enjoy the moment, to not rush through things. There are so many meanings that you could draw from the snail. Oh, the tens. Oh, I love them. Look at that. These three look so just energetic and like, yeah, you finally got that. The 10 of Wands. Oh my gosh. You know what? I want to read about the 10 of Wands because the 9 of Wands and 10 of Wands are often a little bit confusing because obviously in both you're like overdone yourself or you're like really at the end of... There's too much basically going on. Let's see what it says about... Just quick takes, right? For the 10 of Wands. So I give you an example of quick takes. One last push to the finish line, the end is in sight, a strong work ethic, taking on heavier workload. Success brings its own set of problems. I like that. Feeling weighed down by your responsibilities, overextending yourself, a need to delegate responsibilities and share the load, a need to rest and recharge, working to the point of burnout, know your limits, time to shed some of your burdens. And what does the town at the back represents? Expansion, achievement, civilization, possibility, rest time. And trees, growth, lushness, potential, sustainability, expansion, ascension time. And the wands, element fire, okay. The wands here are gathered in a bundle. See, the way she placed them or the way they're placed in the deck, it's symbolic as well. So the wands here are gathered in a bundle, symbolizing a heavy load or burden that you are carrying at this time. As tens in the tarot signify a completion, the end is in sight and you can put down that heavy load soon. I like that. And this about the 10 of Swords is something that I always, I never researched what it means, and I always think about it. Blessings, mystery. In the Waite-Smith Tarot, this hand gesture is being made by a figure lying face down on the ground with 10 swords stuck in their back. The scene is grim. It appears the individual has died from their many wounds, but this hand gesture suggests that there is life in those old bones yet. Dead men tells no tales, as they also rarely make intricate hand gestures. So first and foremost, the presence of this gesture indicates that all is not lost and that the struggles that have occurred up to this point have not fully leveled you. This gesture is also identical to one that appears on the Hierophant card, suggesting that there are blessings to come from this cycle of completion as well as spiritual elevation. This gesture is also considered to mean all you see is not all that there is. This is not a gruesome death scene, but rather a hopeful dawn of a new day. Oh, I love this! This configuration of the fingers is also very similar to a mudra called kapitara used in Indian dance. One of the meanings I discovered for this mudra is return. Things may never be exactly the same after this profound event, but you will experience a return to self as you assimilate the lessons you've learned and emerge stronger. Do you see how, and this is just about one symbol? Like this is the description you could get for the whole card in some decks, and here is just one symbol. So yeah, this is such an amazing, amazing deck, man. Oh, I love it so much. So here we have our little pages, and they feel very optimistic and happy and coming from a heart space and curious. This is for sure orange because creativity, right? Because the sacral chakra is orange, so yes, the Page of Cups is very creative. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. All knights are orange. I never noticed that. How cool is that? Which makes a lot of sense because orange is related to the sacral chakra, like I said before. And sacral chakra is all about creativity, drive, I'm gonna say. It's about expression, and it's so interesting how, oh look, these two knights, Knight of Wands and Knight of Swords are all in movement, and Knight of Cups and Knight of Pentacles are in the standing position, which is very interesting. And also the color of the horses, the black and the white ones, right? And this one is red. Oh, it's so interesting. Like just studying the one symbol in the card can give you so much insight into the cards. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, the orange just screams drive to me. What can I say? It could also be like orange, not because of the chakra system, but because the fire, right? Because I personally see knights connected to fire. So this makes me very, very happy. Okay, and then we have the queens. Oh, gorgeous. Oh, these are perfect. Oh my gosh. These are perfect. Like fire, water, air, and earth makes so much sense for the queens like that. So much sense. Even though I know the queens are generally water off, whatever. But there's something about queens being the pure color of the suit, like red is related to the wands, to the fire, blue is related to water, etc. There's something pure about it. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I really, really love it. And also look at this mermaid here. I never noticed the mermaid. I never thought about what the stones mean, because I know there's like round pebbles around her throne. The crystal ball. The crystal ball. Okay, let's just look at the crystal ball. I'm taking way too long now with this deck, but it's so cool. I just can't help myself. Okay, let's look at the Queen of Cups. Intuition, divination, moon energy, guidance. There is no crystal ball shown in the Waite-Smith tarot. I thought so. But the queen is depicted lovingly gazing at the ciborium, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, she holds with focused intent, almost like the practice of gazing into a crystal ball to uncover deep mysteries and receive spiritual guidance. Oh, mic drop, literally. It's so good. And our last but not least, the Kings. Yeah, okay, I really like the color associations here. I really do. Like they just speak subconsciously to me about the person the king is. The King of Wands is obviously a very fiery person and very determined and very passionate and they want to take things on. They want things to move, to change all the time. And the King of Pentacles also has that feeling, but it's more grounded, right? Look at the huge pentacle here. That signifies something. This pentacle could be very small, but no, it's huge, because to the King of Pentacles, his wealth, his abundance, his what he worked for so hard is very important, and he's not afraid to show it and to share it with others if he thinks that they are worthy of it, let's say. This is so great. Now I'm gonna read you the King of Wands just because it's so funny, and then we're gonna look into the deck. So we have a huge wand here, right? So let's see what she says about the wand. I will be as tactful as I can here. But a certain saying comes to mind that sums up the king nicely. The confidence and natural leadership this king exudes is big stick energy, represented by the single upright wand. Only swap out stick for another word that rhymes, and there you have it. Oh my god, that's so funny. That is so funny. Like, I'm telling you, her writing style is so engaging and so funny. It just makes you want to read more and more and more. Like, you know those books that you can't put down? That's how I feel about this guidebook for this deck. So there you have it. This is Tarot Disassembled. A beautiful, gorgeous, fun, amazing. Like, I feel this is the answer to, if you're a nerd and you like to study tarot, not just like use it intuitively to read for readings, but if you really like to understand the meanings of everything that is on the Rider-Waite-Smith cards, this is the deck for you. You will not regret it. And now that we have it in the mass market version, this makes it more accessible to everyone. So yes, I really suggest this deck to anyone. Now let's look at the beautiful Tarot Assembled. Now this deck comes in many cards. I forgot how many cards, like 80 or something. It's more than tarot deck. It's a very thick deck. Look how beautiful these edges are. This deck at the moment is indie. These are the beautiful backs. These are the beautiful edges. These are the beautiful cards. Now I'm just gonna walk through these cards. So what is special about these cards is the fact not only that they're gorgeous. Look at that foiling. Look at this beautiful foiling. I don't think you can see, but it's like it's rainbowy and gold. It's absolutely beautiful. Now let me show you what is so special about these cards. As you can see, you have the name, which is Scales, and then you have on the side, on the right side, you have the minor arcana cards that you can find scales in. So you have 6 of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles, and on the left you have major arcana cards you can find it in, and we have Justice here. Now, these cards are so intuitive, I can't even explain. Like, I remember the first time I used it, I pulled 3 cards, and together they just spoke so beautifully. So if you have knowledge of tarot, these cards are so good, because you think about, okay, what do the 6 of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles have in common? And how does Justice come in? And then not only you make those connections in your head, you also have symbols from these cards at the background. So if you just focus which symbol is calling to you right now in the moment in time, and you have grapes, and then you go into the guidebook and you look what the grapes mean, because we have a grapes card here as well. And then you also can look at the cards and which symbols are repeated and why are they significant in this reading. What is the reading trying to tell you? So yeah, these cards are just so great, like rabbit, nail. So here we have, for example, this hand sign here. We know that it's on the Hierophant card. The nails are in the Hierophant card, obviously, as well. But it's like, oh, so why is this sign calling out to me, and how can I relate it to the nail meaning? And of course, in the guidebook, we have an amazing explanation of each sign as well. I'm going to read you one. I'm going to see which one I want to read, whichever calls to me. So some of the symbols are only seen on one card, and we see, for example, skull is only seen in the death card. But then you also have the symbols at the back. So which symbol at the moment calls to you, right? From this card. It is just so this is the card that made me really want this deck. I remember I was like, oh my god, that rose is gorgeous. And not only we have like the foiling, if you look up close, there is texture inside of each symbol from the symbol we're seeing. So here we have scales, for example, for the fish. In the rose, we had rose petals at the background. It's just so good. So it gives you like the texture to the card. It's just amazing. And we have 6 pointed star, and then we have also, is it 5 pointed star, I think? Black cat, wheat, salamander, tree. There's like basically all the symbols from the tarot are in here. I think that are all there. Like, it's amazing. Oh, look at the snail. Okay, you know what? Let's look at the snail, because before I was saying about the meaning of the snail on the Nine of Pentacles. So now let's look at the snail. So this is like she disassembled it, and now you assemble it by looking at specific symbol and how that symbol connects to all the cards together, as in the whole deck, the whole tarot deck. So oh, it's so amazing. And again, they're so beautiful and colorful and intuitive, and I just love making these connections. And I feel using these two decks is gonna help you master tarot if you haven't mastered it already, or master it. I mean, you can never really master tarot, let's be honest, but you can get as close as possible with these two decks. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna read you the whole snail card. Okay, so it looks like this, just so you see. So you have a quote, a picture, you have keywords, and then part of the assembly kit for you, Nine of Pentacles. So this tells you all the cards that it relates to, and then quick takes at the bottom. The spiral in a snail's shell is the same mathematically as the spiral in the Milky Way galaxy, and it's also the same mathematically as the spirals in our DNA. It's the same ratio that you'll find in very basic music that transcends cultures all over the world. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I love him. He's such a great actor. What a beautiful, like the way she found these quotes is so brilliant as well. I love quotes in the cards. I love that. So, okay, keywords: slow, steady progress, patience, self-sufficiency, home, protection, wealth, abundance, rest. Part of the assembly kit for Nine of Pentacles. Do you ever feel like the world is constantly telling you to move faster or keep up? The humble snail symbol is here to tell you it is time to slow down, way down. Going at the snail's pace can benefit you in numerous ways. When we are in constant state of rush, things tend to go unchecked. Slowing down can enable us to find joy in little things again, as well as focus on minutiae. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. The snail may even indicate that it's time for some much-needed rest. These clammy little gastropods are in the major leagues when it comes to rest. A snail can sleep for up to 3 years at a time. Talk about a power nap. That's so funny. Snails are also associated with wealth, as their shells, such as cowrie shells, have been used as currency in some cultures. When the lollygagging energy of the snail is in the picture, get-rich-quick scenarios are likely not in the cards, but slow and steady accumulation of wealth, that's definitely in the snail symbolic wheelhouse. One of the superpowers of the snail is their ability to move up vertically surfaces without falling off. Move over, Spider-Man. There's a new wall crawler in the town. This is due to special type of mucus they produce called mucopolysaccharide that acts as both a sticky glue and a lubricant as they move. If you feel it's taking forever to reach your goals, the unhurried, gravity-defying snail reminds you to stick with it. And remember that slow progress is still progress. The ancient Aztecs believed one of the gods in their pantheon, Tlaloc, sometimes took the form of a snail. Tlaloc was the god of rain and represented the fertility of the earth and its abundance. Snails are a wonderful symbol of fertility due to their prolific ability to produce more snails. An average clutch of snail egg can contain hundreds of eggs in one batch. The spiral design found on the shells of snails has also long been considered a highly divine motive, indicative of spiraling from the outer ego or outer side world into the inner soul towards enlightenment. What? Putting all these bits together makes the snail a profound symbol of both physical and spiritual abundance. Can you see how deep these are? They are so good. Oh my god. Quick takes. Slow your roll. Much needed rest. Slow and steady wealth accumulation. Slow progress is still progress. Defying the odds. Be patient with the process. Fertile energy. Van living and mobile homes. Sacred geometry. A downward spiral. One can understand why I'm obsessed with this deck. It's so good. Like, it's beautiful to look at. I love how one symbol stands out and then you have the little symbols or the other symbols in the background muted down. I love that. I love the colors. I love everything. I love the production. It's the same quality cardstock as with Tarot Disassembled. So we have that beautiful rose petal finish. And the foiling just makes things pop and make it very magical and special. And I read these cards literally as tarot. Like, I put them out in a spread just like tarot cards. And because there are tarot cards, just more tarot cards in one card, which is pretty awesome. And then because of that, your mind just starts making connections that you wouldn't even think about. Like, it's so interesting. Like, for example, let's look at, look at that, the stage card. 8-pointed star. Sorry, I said 6. So we have, what did I say? 5-pointed. I said 5-pointed. So we have 6-pointed star and 8-pointed star in this deck. For example, Empress and 9 of Pentacles both have a Venus sign, and we know that Venus is a planet of beauty and I would even say pleasure and love and heart space, I'm gonna say. And Empress and 9 of Pentacles both represent that, literally. The abundance, the fertility. You know, women come from Venus and men come from Mars is a thing that we've heard about our whole lives. So birthing new ideas, birthing life, creating things that you really desire. So yeah, it's so good. The Iris flower, I love the Iris flower. It appears in many cards in the deck that I reviewed yesterday, which was the Tarot of the Woodland Wardens. And then you see, because of these cards, you can literally use this card. So you can have any other tarot deck and you can see a symbol there. And perhaps it is not explained in the guidebook. And you're like, oh, actually, I know that symbol is in this deck. So I will go and find out about that symbol from this deck. So isn't that cool? It's like so useful. It's so useful. Or you see certain signs, you know, the universe speaks to us through signs, through symbols, right? So perhaps you see a white dove or a white pigeon flying by and you're like, oh, wait a second, white pigeons are not very common. Let me see. Oh, here it's a dove. Okay. But what does it mean? Or you see a rainbow. What does a rainbow represent, you know? Or I don't know, anything. Like in real life, you see those things and you're like, oh, let me see. Because if it catches your eye and you stop for a second, that is universe telling you something, you know? Everything you see around you, or everything you noticed around you, I'm going to say, is important. Oh, the key. Oh, I love this. The Hierophant. It's such a beautiful... Oh, key is my favorite English word, by the way. Key. It just sounds so good. Key. Yeah, this is the Child, which I like that she chose like little children's shoes and not actual baby. I really like that. The Sword. The Horse. The Cloak. Isn't that interesting? We see the horse in all the Knights, in 6 of Wands, which makes sense with the Knights, right? And then in Death and Sun. So to me, it's like an ultimate transformation for the better. That's what I get. Combining all these cards together, that's what I would say. Or following your inner truth and something that you truly desire, but knowing that it's not going to be easy because, you know, life throws you things that you need to endure and go through, and things will change if you really go for what you want. Like, it's very intuitive. I love it so much. The Boat, the double-tipped wand, which we see in Magician, Chariot, World, and 10 of Pentacles. Isn't that interesting? Magician, Chariot, World, and 10 of Pentacles. Huge cards. Huge, positive, powerful cards. The Tudor Rose. We had normal rose, red rose, and we have Tudor Rose. The Feather. The Feather appears in so many cards in Tarot. Red Feather specifically, we have it in Fool, Death, Sun, and then 9 Cups, Page of Cups, Knight of Swords, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. So that gives you a lot to think about. What do all these cards have in common? You know, or if not all the cards, if you look at this, right, Feather, which card comes to your mind in that moment in time? So that's the card that you should be really thinking about in your reading. So it's just so good. Like, I love this deck so much. Like I said, I use this deck, specifically this one, every day with almost every reading. I would pull it at the end of the reading, or I would pull it at the beginning of the reading, or I would pull it as a clarifier for specific cards. It's just so good. Or I would just use it in a spread as a tarot deck. And I love that it's so versatile. It's literally like, if for some reason I need to go and grab one deck that I would keep forever and use forever, it would probably be this one. If I had to take two decks, it would probably be this too, because this is the tarot deck and this is an ultimate oracle for me, because I love tarot. I'm obsessed. I'm a nerd. I'm a hardcore nerd for tarot. So yeah, this would be basically two decks that I would grab, because I would like to have a tarot deck that has their system and it's all the things on every card. And I would also love to have just one thing to look at, or more if I want to. You know what I mean? I know I've been gushing over these decks, but they're just so amazing. They're just so great. So I will leave Jennifer's social media and her Etsy shop link in the description box below. And if you are a nerd like me, I really think that these decks will bring so much joy to you. I mean, they bring so much joy to me. They literally make me happy. So if I'm feeling down, I would go and just look into the book, because not only tarot generally and symbolism makes me happy, but the way that Jennifer wrote the books is just so much fun, uplifting, and informative, and in the direction she goes with every single symbol are so versatile. Like, it's not just history, or it's not just pop references, or it's not just random sayings, or the quotes. It's everything. It's so good. It's so great. Yes, so I'm gonna stop gushing over this now. Once again, thank you so much, Jennifer, for sending Tarot Assembled to me. I'm so grateful. Like, it makes me so happy. I don't think you can understand how happy this makes me. I hope that you have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are on this amazing planet Earth. And I will see you again soon. Bye bye.